The American Express Gold Card is probably the most polarizing card right now. Today we're doing a deep dive on why it might not make sense for you and also some alternatives that might be a better fit. Big favor before we dive in is to give us a thumbs up to help with the algorithm, especially since I am probably going to piss off some people, and if you know anyone else that might benefit, then share this with them. Okay, so let's set the stage because I think it is important. The Amex Gold Card is perfect for me right now based off my lifestyle and where I live. I live in San Francisco where there's a ton of good food and I enjoy eating out. And that's not to say that we don't cook at home. We make poke bowls, sushi, and happy to sous vide steaks and chicken. Also have a freezer full of lazy air fryer options as well. The thing though is that that's me and that's not everyone. When you look at the Gold Card, there's pretty much 3 key components and you want to check off at least 2 of the 3. Number 1 is a strong multiplier for restaurants. If you spend a lot eating out, then 4x on up to 50k spend per year is pretty compelling. Number 2 is a strong multiplier for US supermarkets. Same idea here, but capped at 25k per year and can be pretty useful. Number 3 is you have a lot of credits. Up to 120 for Uber Cash, up to 84 for Dunkin's, up to 100 for Resi, and up to 120 for dining. Also, the dining credit is limited to their specific partners. Right now that includes Grubhub, Cheesecake Factory, Goldbelly, Wine.com, and Five Guys. The reason all of this matters is because the card does have a $325 annual fee, and that's a pretty high hurdle rate. Okay, so why might you want to avoid the card? Number 1 is if you have low spend. If you don't spend a lot on food right now, whether that's eating out or at home, then the multipliers don't really matter. For example, let's say you're a student or a new grad, and you're spending 50 to 100 bucks a week on groceries, and that's pretty much it. 400 per month times 12 months times 4x back is 19,200 MR points. It might not move the needle. As a statement credit, 19.2k points at 0.6 cents per point is about $115. If you redeem towards travel through their portal, that's $192, Schwab Platinum, and then transfer out at 1.1 cents per point, that's $211. And then if you do transfer partners at the target of 2 cents per point, that's about $384. Not bad numbers by any means, but depending on how you value the other credits and your alternatives, there might be better choices. Another factor is intro bonuses. So for example, for the Capital One Saver 1, no annual fee, and the intro bonus is $200 after $500 in spend in the first 3 months. Lots of other similar cards that get you $150 to $200 back for $500 to $750 in spend in the first 3 months. Okay, what if I have low spend, but I still want the card? The elephant we're trying to eat through is that $325 annual fee. So if you don't spend a lot, then you have to make use of the credits. So for example, the up to 120 in Uber Cash, if you're a student or you're early in your career, you're probably living in a city and that makes it a lot easier to use. Do you end up doing 1 Uber ride a month or can you do Uber Eats? For the up to 84 in Dunkin's credit, if you commute to work, then this can make a ton of sense since America does run on Dunkin's. Do you drink coffee or do you like the other items? For the up to 100 in Resi credits, do you do date nights or do you try new restaurants with friends once every half year? If this was an $8 credit per month, then that's kind of a different thing, but $50 per 6 months feels pretty reasonable. For the up to 120 in dining credits, do you go to any of the partner restaurants at least once a month? Or do you do takeout or takeaway at least once a month via Grubhub? A surprising number of people can pretty much use all the credits without coping too much. For example, if you're in Boston or New York, whether you're a student, new grad, or just a working professional, it feels pretty standard. Reminder that we do have a calculator if you want to run your own numbers. Pretty much lets you map out everything based off your own situation. Whether you're a big spender or low spender, you can adjust that, and also how you value the credits, and maybe don't value them. If the card makes sense on that end, also be careful about the offer. The standard public offer right now is 60k points for 6k in spend in the first 6 months. There also is a 20% back on restaurants component for the first 6 months where you can get up to 100 back. A lot of people have been able to pull better offers, 90k or more, for the same spend, with also the same 20% component by using Card Match. We do have a blog post walking through this and it should pop up if you Google Card Match Ask Sebi. I'll also link it down below in case it's helpful. Okay, what if you have moderate spend, but you can't use the credits? That's where it gets iffy. If you're in the suburbs or a smaller city like both Mandy and my parents, then it can be a struggle. Let's say you're in Ithaca, New York. There's only 3 restaurants on Resi, and if you don't like bar food, vegetarian, or Mediterranean, then you're out of luck. If you're on the West Coast, then Dunkin's can be a problem, and you're pretty much forced to bank it and save it for future trips to maybe New York. That's pretty much our plan right now, and it doesn't help that Mandy is more of an artisanal coffee person. The dining credit, even if you go through Grubhub, can be problematic in some cities where there just aren't as many options. For us in San Francisco, there's a ton of places I go to, but for my parents, it feels very forced. Also, my parents don't use Uber. Uber Eats is a bit better with pickup, and that's fine, but still annoying. In their case, even though they might spend a ton on food and the multipliers make sense, the credits make it pretty tough and annoying. If you're someone that cannot use all the credits, then you need that moderate to high spend. What if you have low spend and you cannot use the credits? Then it probably makes sense to get other cards, and there are a lot of options. With that said, let's look at some alternatives. Main focus is going to be one-card setups that focus on US grocery stores and also dining, which I feel are the core arguments for the Amex Gold. We'll cover some no annual fee cards that work for everyone, and then some annual fee ones that are more focused on moderate and higher spenders that just don't like the coupon book. The first one, and arguably the best competitor, is the Capital One Saver one. First off, no annual fee and pretty good multipliers. You're getting 3% cash back on dining, entertainment, popular streaming, and grocery stores. One other benefit is that this is uncapped, so it might even be better for some people. Even if you are on team points, this can work. The reason for this is that you can convert cash back from Capital One into Capital One miles with the venture cards. The idea being that you accumulate your points right now, and then when you're ready to travel, you get that venture or venture X, and you're good to go. In that sense, 3% cash back is really 3x miles. The main downside is that you're looking for 3 for Capital One compared to 4 for Amex. I'd run the numbers for yourself and see where they fall and what makes more sense on a net basis. Another option is the Citi Strata Premier. This card does have a $95 annual fee, but also pretty good multipliers. 10x on hotels, car rentals, and attractions through citytravel.com. Also 3x on air travel, other hotels, restaurants, supermarkets, gas stations, and EV charging. If you don't like the coupon book that is Amex, then this is a pretty good alternative. It is a workhorse though, so you do need to spend in order for it to make sense. Otherwise, it doesn't outside of maybe the intro bonus. One that is a bit outside the box is going to be the US Bank Altitude Reserve. It is a bit more of a travel card, but hear me out. You have a $400 annual fee, which is pretty expensive, but you also have a $325 annual travel credit, which knocks the effective annual fee down to about $75. You also do get a limited use party pass membership, which might be useful, but for our purpose, the main focus is 3x on travel and mobile wallet purchases. Pretty much all grocery stores I've been to, and even a lot of restaurants, allow you to tap to pay. If you're tapping, then you're getting 3x. If you want to redeem their points towards travel, that's 1.5 cents per point, so about 4.5% in value. If you'd rather do cash back, then it's 1 cent per point, so 3x is 3%. Note that US Bank doesn't have transfer partners at the moment, so if you are redeeming, it's more so for normal travel, where you know exactly what you're getting, but you're not really getting outsized value. If you're looking to fly first or business, or go to expensive hotels, then this might not be the best fit. One that's out of left field is the Wells Fargo One Key. This is a new card from Expedia, and it has no annual fee. You get 3% back on Expedia, Hotels.com, and Vrbo, and also 3% for gas stations, grocery stores, and dining. There is a pretty big catch though. Cashback is earned as One Key cash, which cannot be redeemed for cash. Instead, it can be redeemed for travel on Expedia, Hotels.com, and Vrbo. If you travel and you like those platforms anyways, then that's fine, but otherwise you have more liquid options that don't force you to Expedia. I think most people would take 300 cash over 300 Expedia cash. Main takeaway is that you do have a lot of options. The American Express Gold Card is a good card, but it's not for everyone. If you're on the fence, then I'd probably run the numbers to see where they fall. If it works, then great, get the card, go through card match to get the value, but otherwise, you don't have to force yourself. To me, the best one-card alternative would be the Capital One Saver one. No annual fee, the option to turn it into points if needed to get that upside, and just tons of flexibility. Also, if you are willing to get 2 to 3 cards instead of just one, then the world's your oyster. You can pretty much pick a card for each category that is the best in breed. So for example, the US Bank Altitude Go, which has 4x on dining and no annual fee, and maybe something like the American Express Blue Cash Preferred, which does have a fee but also has US supermarkets at 6% and up to 6K in spend per year. Long-term, $95 annual fee there, but if you're spending that much anyways, then it works. On that note, if you want to learn about cards, we have links on the website, asksabby.com, and also down below in the description box. Make sure the links are competitive, that the cards make sense for you, but otherwise it is a huge way to support the channel, so thank you in advance. If you made it to this point, leave an oyster emoji in the comments down below, and I'll try to heart it and also respond. 3 questions. Number 1, does the Amex Gold Card make sense for you based off your circumstances and how you use the credits? Number 2, what one card option would you pick as an alternative, whether you actually did it or even just theoretically? Number 3, would you rather get multiple cards that focus on different categories, Or is that too much work? Let me know and everyone else know in the comments down below. Big favorite, thumbs up, consider subscribing, but otherwise hope you liked it. See you next time.